which are what effectively make up a company's identity. This is the space in the area that we focus on, and of course, all of you are actively trying to figure out how to do this at your companies. And if you're asking, or if anyone's asking, why does this matter still? Why does this foundational knowledge, content, information, product catalogs, why does that matter? Why spend time there? Well, the fact of the matter is, employees still spend up to 3 hours a day searching for information. And when it comes to your external digital sites, 92% of site visitors still have frustrating digital experiences. So there's a little bit of work to do. The other thing I thought was interesting was our friends at Morgan Stanley talking about this world that we're all in as the boring stuff. What was interesting is as they were talking about their ChatGPT product, they said curating 100,000 documents with high accuracy is not a problem for them because they have best-in-class operational controls over their content, which we know is important. And for them, it's the boring stuff that no one has cared about up until now. And this is actually the stuff that makes AI work. It is what makes it relevant, accurate, factual. The other thing they pointed out that I thought was interesting is that LLMs do not solve the problem of disparate data sources across a company. So just really interesting thoughts and insights to think about. So now I'm going to take you through 11 AI models that you can apply across your customer experiences or your employee experiences. Now, I'm going to give you the summarized view so you know what type of models I'm talking about here. And it's absolutely important to get started with foundational search technologies and algorithms. Even Gartner pointed out in a recent report that search augments AI rather than the reverse. So having that fundamental set of search technologies that provides unified access to enterprise data wherever people are searching, having source permissions respected, having dozens of ranking factors, thesaurus rules, synonyms, stopgaps, all of that is important, right, to make sure you have the right content, enrichment, and relevance even before you apply those AI models. Then we're going to get into behavioral models. The first three are search-based. Numbers 4 and 5 here are not search-based, so they're not dependent on a search. Rather, they're proactive or predictive recommendations. We'll get into some deep learning, so how we use vectors and product embeddings to help users as they're discovering. And then we'll get into LLMs and generative. There's both non-generative LLMs, and of course, we all know about the generative type. So in practice, I'm going to take you through each one of these models. The first is query suggestions. So what you can see here is as a user is searching in any interface, they're getting relevant machine model suggestions to complete their query. Again, this is helping users quickly find what they want, and these models are learning from past interactions that were successful. They're also contextualized, so using user context, their behavior, their activity. Once you perform a search, then you're going to get some results. You want to make sure the top results are boosted to the top. Sure, you can curate these manually, but wouldn't it be great if you could actually have machine learning know what is the most relevant results and automatically boosting that for you? Again, based off of the success of similar past users and keeping that context in mind. We then get into dynamic navigation experience. So if you know the facets and filters, if you're ever shopping online, when you search for a product, you want to make sure those filters and facets on the left are relevant. And they're going to change. They should change based off of the different products you're working with, right? If you're searching for shoes, you want to see size, maybe colors, width. If you're searching for dresses or blouses, you're going to see a different set of dimensions. So having machine learning that can automatically reorder these or auto-select them becomes really important. Now, we also want to be able to be proactive and predictive. So content recommendations is proactively providing content suggestions and recommendations to users even before they conduct a search. And it could be content, articles, blogs, and even people. Right? The idea here is we're helping people get to what they want much more quickly. We also have product recommendations, so more on the commerce side, suggesting those relevant products that are going to help people add to cart and purchase much more quickly. And there's also, the interesting one about this one is there's multiple recommendation strategies available, so you can add a frequently bought together, popular items, and again, using user context within these machine learning models as well to enhance that accuracy and relevance. These next few models are more of the deep learning ones, and this is really more for the commerce context. So session-based product recommendations is using real-time data and information and applying personalization on those product recommendations that are getting suggested to users as they buy. So this gets into product vectors, user session vectors, and again, trying to make the right recommendation to people in a very personalized way, knowing that if I search for shoes and someone else searches for shoes that might be in the construction industry, we're going to get different recommendations. All right, intent-aware product ranking. So back to once you have results, let's make sure that those are relevant and accurate for who I am and what I'm searching for, taking my context and knowing that if I'm a motorcycle owner, I would need a different helmet than if I'm a bike rider. So really understanding that as well. Lastly, on the personalization side is predictive query suggestion. So similar to what I covered earlier, but this is, again, more personalization using product vectors and embedding, so real-time changes and suggestions for people to quickly help them find what they need. Smart snippets is probably one of my favorite models, and especially for those of you that are a little risk-averse to generative, the generative aspect of things. Smart snippets is able to surface an answer as it exists verbatim in your product documentation. So it's not summarizing, it's not generating, it exists in your documentation, it's surfacing it to end users, so they're getting an answer and not links. So this is a popular one that if you don't want to generate things, but you still have long, complex documents, this is one that you can consider. Moving to case assist. So a lot of what I've been talking about is, browsing, buying. Case assist is, okay, you have a customer now. They're coming to your self-service portals, your online support. How can you help them find what they need to potentially, not have to submit a case and go to an agent? And of course, everything I've covered, you can make agent recommendations should they speak to someone on the phone. But case assist is about helping people self-service online, deflect cases, so content is being suggested to those users online. This also leverages LLMs, a different type here around categorization. Lastly, and I don't think I need to spend too much time on relevance generative answering. We've heard so much about it. From our perspective, this is being able to fetch information from multiple documents that exist within your enterprise, use search relevancy and ranking to extract the most relevant pieces, only send those to the generative LLMs that would then get fed back to an end user in your interfaces. And you see an interface here as a typical website page, but a generative answer can exist also in a chatbot within your service management applications, on your intranet. So many different use cases for where and how you can use generative answering. Of course, sourcing, citations will all be there as well. So I forgot to mention that I wore this shirt specifically for you all because if you remember earlier this year, we were told we all needed to do more with less. Exactly, do more with less. I really did not like that statement, and so I saw this and I was like, I'd rather do less than do more with less. And I truly believe, and the premise of Coveo is to help you do that by leveraging these different AI models across your different buyer journeys or user journeys, whether they're an end customer or employee. And what you can see here is just how those models get applied across different areas of the business. And the goal here, and what we also try to help counsel people on, is driving those important business outcomes. So if you're on the commerce side, increasing revenue. If you're on the support side, reducing costs or increasing customer satisfaction. If you're on the website side, let's help you convert and engage those visitors and turn them into customers. And if you're on the workplace side, let's help make those employees more productive and self-sufficient. So I hope I've given you a plethora of other AI models besides generative AI that you can really implement today. They're available, trusted, and some of our largest customers, including many of you in the audience, are using these today. We'd be happy to talk to you. Thank you. Enjoy your lunch.